My name is Chris Cook. I'm the Managing Director of the Office of Communication and Marketing at Texas Tech University and Texas Tech Public Media. Texas Tech University is full of great communicators, and together we hope to bring you perspectives and insight that can help you in your field. Communication is what we do every day, and it's intricately connected to our success and failures. This is Communicators in a Cart. The Public Art program in the Texas Tech University system was initiated by the Board of Regents in 1998 to enrich the environments of each campus. 20 years and 99 works of art later, a new tradition has been cultivated at Texas Tech University. Emily Wilkinson is the system's Public Art Director and oversees the process from selection to implementation. Hey Emily.
Hey Chris.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Do you have time
Good
to
to see
talk
you.
TTU Public Art?
Sure.
Okay.
Where-
Go visit for
where?
me. I think we'll go over to the honors dorm and,
Yeah.
and sit in front of one of your new pieces of art.
Great, yeah.
All right.
I'd love to show it to you.
Great. So how many pieces do we have? And correct me if I'm wrong, it's 1%
Yes.
of every construction project is required to go toward public art.
Yes, and it's any major project, so anything over 2 million.
Okay.
So those big projects, 1% of their budget, it's Regent mandated that it goes to public art. So we've added quite a bit.
So how many pieces of art do we have per that Regent rule?
We actually have 129 throughout the system. 99 of those pieces are on the TTU campus. And we're actually adding our 100th piece this month in April to the TTU campus at the Visual and Performing Arts project.
And they present an idea? Do they have it sketched?
In the first, we have 2 phases when we're selecting an artist. So in the first phase, we just have an open call for artists throughout the world to apply, and they submit their past work that they've worked, projects that they've done in the past, budgets that they've worked on. We want to make sure they worked with larger budgets that are similar to the project, and the Public Art Committee will look at all of those submissions, and that's when they'll select the finalists. So in the first round, we usually get around 100 to 150 artists applying for each project. So it's a lot of work for the committee to go through all of those applications, and sometimes we'll have several projects active at once. So they work very hard. Once we select those finalists, it's usually about 3 or 4. Then they will get a small stipend to actually come and present their idea. And they get about 2 months to present that, and that gives them a chance to ask questions about the project, get to know it a little bit more, and then they will actually create a rendering or a model of what they want their piece to look like to really give us an idea of what they're presenting to the program. Texas Tech is actually ranked in the top 10 in public art programs on universities around the nation, and so it is very competitive to get a piece here.
Did you apply for this job or were you sought out?
A little of both. I did apply. I was actually on the committee when this position opened up.
Good place to be.
It was, yeah. And the former public art director actually approached me before she had announced she was leaving, and just to see if I was interested. I've always, I have that museum science background. I've worked at lots of different types of museums, but art has always been kind of my top choice.
Right.
And loved working at the Ranching Heritage Center, but there's lots of nights, weekends, it's a very, very busy place. So I was really looking for something, a little change of pace with the art, but also not as many events, that sort of thing. So it was really, seemed like the right time for me to look into this position and just kind of see what happens. And I think I'd been on the committee for maybe a year or two when it came open, and so I was really interested in this whole process.
So you obviously directing the public art program and working with the committee. Do you have an influence in that, or because you're on the inside, you know the project like the back of your hand, you know what other art has been on campus, the committee does as well, but what kind of influence do you have in that process?
They definitely want to know if an artist applies that I've seen that I think is a big artist.
You're doing a lot of the background on these artists.
Yeah,
you're doing the work.
Yeah, so a lot of that, curator background that I have comes into use when we're trying to figure out, is this a good artist? I have, through my museum science, know about conservation and making sure the piece is going to stand up. So we think about that a lot. Also our calls are open, but if there's an artist that we think is a good fit, I'll make sure and invite that person so they'll apply. So kind of guidance in that manner. Committee still votes that first round on their own, so I never really know how they're going to vote, and they can vote however they want.
Sure.
But information that they want or need for these projects is a lot of what I do. And then Billy Breedlove and I kind of help give them more information about the project itself.
Okay.
So they get an idea of the background. And sometimes too, the committee's been very good about taking into account where the piece is going.
Right.
So if it's an athletics project, when we did run, that's a very appropriate piece for that location. That may not have gone other places on campus, but we want to make sure it fits what's happening in the building.
And then that's become a really popular piece. It's really cool because you see it in the day, you look at it at night, it's completely different.
Yeah.
And it moves with you.
Yeah, which I love. I think, that's one I think it's really important to see art in person. And especially with pieces like that, we take lots of pictures of it, but until you're actually there and walking around it, I don't think you realize the effect that piece has.
So the artist for Run is from Tucson.
Yeah.
And we have Glenna Goodacre pieces here, and she is from Lubbock, but I believe in Santa Fe.
Yes.
Are we specific pockets of the world, or are we worldwide in our public art collection?
We're just worldwide. We want the best artist for the location. There's some times where, like with the Art 3D building, the requirement was that the artist be a graduate of Texas Tech, just because that's going in the sculpture program's home. So we want to give those students a look at what their alumni can do. But to be honest, we do so many pieces. We don't have the number of artists in this area to really fulfill all the projects that we have. So we really just cast it out worldwide and see who we get.
I would imagine you get a different offering every time, and every building is different. What do you see in these artists, or do you ask these artists, think about the project? Here's a background on the project and what it means to the university, to give them some guidance, or do you just kind of give them the blank slate?
No, we try to give them quite a bit of information about the project. For this building, we gave them renderings of the building, photos of the site. We actually showed them Wind River, which is the Deborah Butterfield sculpture behind me. That's a pretty iconic sculpture. She's one of the biggest.
The one back in the courtyard.
Yes, yes.
I call it the driftwood horse.
Which it kind of is. It's made of bronze, but she used driftwood to make those pieces. That's a really well-known piece in our collection, so we didn't need a piece to try and match that to compete with it, so we just went completely different. But another neat thing about knowing about the project is this courtyard needed a kind of a shade space, and so this art is actually meant to also function as a shade structure for the courtyard. So we give a little bit of guidance. We never tell them exactly what to make. For me, I think it's always interesting to see how every artist takes that information and makes it into a piece, and it's completely different from artist to artist how they interpret that. But that's, I think, really important that they do design it for the location specifically.
What I find interesting is you can walk around during the day and see so much, but you can also come up here after dark and see completely different pieces of art that are lit.
Yeah, and I think you know, having those lit pieces is so great to come out and see how they really change from day to night. Especially like Texas Rising changes colors.
That's West Village,
is at West Village, and it actually has a button on the main star that you can push and change the colors yourself. So there's a little bit of interactivity. Run needed to stay red.
Yes.
You don't want the piece in front of Jones Stadium to be different colors.
Right.
But that one's amazing at night. We've got the summer tree, autumn tree. The window at the Burkhart Center
Yes.
is an autumn color in the daytime, and if you see that one at night with the lights on, you can actually see the green side, which is inside. So, you know, a lot of the pieces, they don't all have lighting, but the ones that do really change, and it helps to see both views.
You're getting a golf cart.
Yes.
This year, which we love golf carts on this show. But you're getting your own golf cart. I think you said 15 passenger, and will be able to accommodate tour requests. Do you know when is that going to take place?
We are hoping summer, early summer. It's a grant-funded project by the CH Foundation,
Okay.
so we're really happy that they saw the need for that with us. But this will be a solar-powered 15-person vehicle. We've been calling it the art cart. It's a little bit bigger than a cart, but it'll even have a wrap around it like a mini city bus. So we're really excited. Maxes out at 20 miles per hour, so it's perfect for campus.
If someone wanted to tour the collection or have be a part of a tour, how would they do that?
You know, right now there's lots of ways. Obviously, self-guided tours are great. People can come here anytime they want, any day, middle of the day on Christmas. If you want to walk
Sure.
around, you can. We have an app called Art Trek that's free to download that can help guide people
And I've
around.
seen it's a great
And
app. It's a great resource.
that was a lot of work too. I never knew what went into an app until then. But that has a scavenger hunt, lots of different things on it. But for guided tours, people can always contact me, and we don't charge anything for that. It's just fitting it in, finding a time that works for both of us.
Sure.
And once that art cart's here, then we'll look at doing regular monthly tours. So we'll establish that once it's here. And we have Facebook and Instagram and Twitter where we'll definitely put that information out there, because we want a lot of people to come out and see the art.
Great. Emily, you do a great job.
Thank
Great service
you.
for the university.
It's a lot
Thank
of
you.
fun. You too. You did great too.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.